Hi everybody, it's Sam Lewis here from the Shining Bright Pageant YouTube channel, and I'm here today with the lovely Hannah Travers from Crown and Glory Pageants. So Hannah, hello, welcome.
Hi Sam, thanks for having me.
That's all right, that's wonderful. So tell me a little bit about yourself and how long you've been directing Crown and Glory for me, please.
So I haven't actually been directing Crown and Glory for that long. It was founded by Hannah Travers back in 2012, and I actually competed in Crown and Glory England in 2016 and won the England title. And then went on at nationals to win the opportunity to compete at Mrs. UK World when that was still around. So I was having such an amazing time and had such an amazing experience with my first pageant that I just wanted to remain involved with Crown and Glory, regardless of the fact that even after I handed over my title, I wouldn't necessarily be representing them as a queen. Now I represent Yemi as a queen, and I'm looking forward to internationals. A couple of people have said to me, how can you be a director and represent a title at the same time? And I think it's just really important that I do represent Yemi as a queen, and I kind of rely on the Crown and Glory queens a little bit to promote the Crown and Glory aspect, because that's what queens are there to do, and I'm just there to support them.
Exactly. So what was it that made you decide to get involved with directing and Crown and Glory?
Like I said, I've been involved in it ever since I competed in it. Hannah's always run it in such an amazing way. Watching her dashing about, I just wanted to have help her during the day. Really, so I was rushing about with her, trying to organise food for the contestants, making sure all of the paperwork was there for the judges. First time I did it, I thought I was all sorted, everything was done, realised I'd put the paperwork in the wrong order. So I had to like about an hour before the pageant, had to reorganise it all. And Hannah was like, "You okay?" And I'm like, "Yes, nothing's going on, everything's fine.
Everything's okay here,
Everything's okay." But what I really like about Crown and Glory, and I know a couple like other pageants will probably say the same as well, as a director, we don't know who has won until it's actually said.
Wow.
Which is great. We get the scores over to us. We have someone there who's making sure that it's all being input correctly. But because we're not actually paying attention to we're paying attention to where the scores are going, but we're not adding things up in our head as it goes. We literally are just when it's called, it's the biggest surprise to us as well, and we absolutely love it.
So you get the excitement buzz out of that as well.
Yeah, and I love seeing the girls compete. I think it's great to cheer them on, and especially when you've got a girl who maybe doesn't have as many supporters there, like her friends and family couldn't come and support her, and I'll always make sure that I'm cheering for every contestant as loud as I can.
Yeah, got to. You're the director.
You do, but it's making sure either you don't clap at all or you clap for everyone. Yeah. And I think everyone deserves a clap, because I really appreciate them, like even considering being a queen for Crown and Glory.
So. Yeah, it takes a lot to get up on that stage as well, doesn't it? You know, so they all deserve a clap just for that.
Yeah, it takes an absolute huge amount for them to get up on stage. So in between us putting in the scores, we're clapping and screaming as much as we can.
So when you say it's been going since 2012, where actually in the UK is it based?
It's based in Wrexham currently. For next year, again, it's going to be based in Wrexham. We're having a little bit of a discussion about possibly changing the venue, but that won't be until the following year. We've already had so many changes this year already. It's gone from a national pageant to an international pageant.
Wow.
That's not just a name change. We are we've got girls coming over from Europe to compete in the UK, which is amazing. About half of our contestants so far are flying over from other countries, and we're so proud to be able to say that, because I know there's some European pageants in the UK that aren't necessarily got European contestants coming over. They might go elsewhere afterwards, but we are a UK-based international pageant.
Brilliant.
And I think that
your screen keeps freezing a little bit, so sometimes we just miss the end of what you say. So when you said that, so we're an international English-based pageant, so that means
so we I forgot what did I say? So that means that we are an international based in the UK.
And you've got people coming over here, which is just huge, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are you the only one in the UK who is an international one based in the UK? Do you know?
I think Face of Europe and the World is another one. I know that they take the girls over to Paris for some of that, but then last year they did the crowning in the UK in Kent. So we are one of the only ones that do it.
Brilliant. So for this pageant, what would you say is the ethos or the aim of this pageant? You know, like what are you trying to do with this pageant to girls, and you know, what is it all about?
So the pageant motto is believe in yourself, be you.
Lovely.
And I know when I'm going to call her Tordorf, because otherwise I sound like I'm talking about myself in the third person. So when Tordorf started pageantry, she felt like she didn't really know what she was doing. She felt that there was a standard, but she didn't know what that standard was. She didn't feel very supported. So when she first created Crown and Glory, it was to support girls and to offer constant support from a directors on what is required, so help and advice on the like fashion wear. I hadn't got a clue what a fashion wear was when
I didn't.
And so without her support when I started, I would have felt more nervous than anything going onto that stage. And I think she gave help and advice, but it was very much, you've got to find what's right for you. You've got to be comfortable in what you're wearing. It doesn't matter if it's not what's fashionable at the time or what's popular at the time, in the case of what look, whether people are wearing just dresses or whether they're wearing the capes that flap about and all of that kind of stuff. She was like, it's all about you, and believing in yourself and you feeling good. And I know that's something that we really try and instill in our queens. We don't want them to be clones of what they think. We want them to be different, and we want them to have their quirks, and we want them to be queens and to represent us in the best way possible. But yeah, we want them to be themselves at the end of the day.
And that's the best person they can be, isn't it, at the end of the day?
Yeah, exactly. And I think I always think you should try and strive to be the best person you can be. And there's always room for improvement, but only you can decide how much that is and where you want to be in life. Your career is not necessarily going to be the same as mine. How I dress is not going to be the same way you dress. Our personalities might be different, but that doesn't mean that we are doing anything wrong. Does that make sense? So that's very much like the girls should just be themselves, and that's all we want them to be. And we want all of our contestants to be that way. I think it being an international pageant this year, we are going to get some amazing different personalities, and we are going to have some amazing outfits from different people, because pageantry in different countries it's different all over the world, what the expectations are. So it's going to be really interesting next year.
It's going to be lots of diversity, isn't there?
It's going to be great.
When is it and where is it being held? I know you said Wrexham, but do we know any details on the next one? If I wanted to get involved in this, when is it?
So it's being held over 2 days. So it's being held on the 13th and the 14th of August. The 13th of August is going to be sort of a contestant evening. We're going to be having like some, what's it called? I keep forgetting. Like not body combat, like protecting yourself.
Oh, like self-defense.
Self-defense classes, that's it. So we're going to be having some self-defense classes in the evening. We're going to be using it as rehearsal time. We've got, I don't know if you know much about what I do, but my platform is healthy well-being. And I've been studying nutrition, so the girls are going to get a little bit of nutrition advice, nothing boring, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
of just healthy general health eating advice, because it's all very well believe in yourself, be you, but I also want everyone to be as healthy as possible. I think that's a really important part of pageantry. We're role models, so let's be role models across the board. And that's going to be on the Friday night, and then on the Saturday we've got rehearsals, we've got interviews. This year for interviews, we're not doing your standard 3-minute interview. We're asking the girls to do presentations. So a 5-minute presentation on all of the work that they've done throughout the year, and why they think they would be a good queen.
I love that.
Because I think 3 minutes, it's very difficult to get across everything that you want. In addition to that 5-minute presentation, the judges will ask a couple of questions. But I think it gives the girls a full 5 minutes to talk about why they should be queens and get that across, as well as talking about what they've done throughout the year. Crown and Glory doesn't offer additional points for appearances, but it's a nice thing to talk about that you've maybe done. And again, because it's an international, not every international has appearances as a requirement. So I am expecting maybe some of the international girls to not have done quite so many. They might surprise me. They might come in, they've done hundreds. Because we do always have some very active contestants, but I think it's quite a nice difference. Also during the day, we've got the lovely Charlotte Clemmy coming and doing
beautiful
headshots with the contestants, which I think is a really nice touch, and that's something we've just secured in offering. Yeah, so and it's the venues in Wrexham Memorial Hall. It's been the same for so many years, but it's actually a really great venue for us. We are always sold out on tickets, and it allows us to sit like 200 plus people. So it's a great venue to have.
And do you get a lot of contestants each year?
We've actually doubled our contestants this year.
Oh my goodness, you've done well with lockdown as well. That's awesome.
We have done really well with lockdown. It's considering we thought, we're not going to get really many people, so I've got a bit of an itchy eye. Normally we have between 25 and 30 contestants. We are fast approaching 60.
That's awesome.
So we're very excited about that. We don't have many spaces left, so if anyone wants to sign up, you need to get it.
Now's the time to do it.
Now's the time to do it. We've actually got a deal on at the moment where we're offering 20% off entry until the new year. So the opportunity's there for anyone who wants to take it, but we do have limited room in the changing rooms. So
while you're talking about the price discount, how much is it to actually enter?
So it depends on the age group. So we've got our Little Miss, which are £75. I did have to write this bit down because it does vary. Our Little Miss is £75, and it goes all the way up to our Miss and Mrs. And our Ms, and they are £250.
Right. Yeah, got you. Okay. Next question is, we touched on it slightly before, saying about the part of the rounds, like the interview and what that entails. What other rounds are involved in this pageant?
So it varies slightly depending on your age range. For the over 18, so for the Mrs. Ms contestants, we've got swimwear, we have fashion wear, and we have evening wear. For the under 18s, we have the fashion wear, we have evening wear, and we have BU wear.
Be you.
Be you, because our motto is believe in yourself, be you. So it's the opportunity for the younger ones to wear an outfit that they just love to wear.
Oh, that's amazing. That's so
So
cute.
we could end up with some sparkly dresses, we could end up with leggings and a t-shirt, and to show off who they are.
Yeah, I suppose if they're really, really relaxed in their favourite outfit, you're going to get to see the true character, aren't you? That's a lovely idea, that. That's a lovely idea.
So yeah, we're doing that. In addition to that, we've also got one of our sponsors, Gittings Boutique, is going to be offering a Gittings Goddess Ambassador Award. So it's like it's a side award, but it allows the girl who wins. It doesn't necessarily have to be a queen. It can be someone in addition, that herself, or I believe Charlotte Clemmy, are going to be judging, where they then get to be the Gittings Boutique ambassador. So they'll get heavily discounted dresses throughout the year, and photo shoots, to really show off and promote the brand, and they'll probably get a few free little bits.
Lovely, isn't it?
Well, so it's a really nice idea. It's not a specific round on its own, but it is an additional side award that I think is really lovely.
And do you have any other side awards?
So obviously there's best in interview. We do the best in each round as a side award. We've got a charity award. So our charity is Abby's Army, which raises money for research for DIPG, which is like a childhood cancer. We previously raised money for a little boy called Dean Pulpit, who had motor neuron disease. He had some form of childhood cancer. Hannah Travers knows far more about it than me. But in total, the pageants raised £126,000 for charity.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing.
So yeah, DIPG is a type of childhood cancer. Unfortunately, there is no cure for it currently, and children who are diagnosed with it normally die within that year, sometimes a lot sooner than a year. So it's heartbreaking for the families, and it was set up by a mum from a little girl called Abby. We've already put so much money into the research, so fingers crossed someday there'll be cure
or something.
Yeah, because it's really heartbreaking for families.
It is, it sounds it. So if I was to get crowned as a Crown and Glory Queen, what opportunities would be available to me afterwards or during my reign?
Okay, so we've got so our prize package in general, because it's an international based in the UK, we thought, what are we going to give that's as grand as that type of pageant needs? We're going to take our over 18s away on holiday.
Lovely.
For a luxury girls' holiday, which I actually think is really, really important, because we are crowning both UK and European queens at the pageant. And a woman from the UK can win a European title, and vice versa. But there's going to be girls who aren't based in the UK, and I think it's really important for sister queens to be able to mix and build relationships. So the holiday is going to be a really, really luxurious holiday for the girls. We'll have, if there's any queens from Europe that have been crowned, they'll be flown in, and the UK queens flown out, and they can mix. There'll be a photo shoot while we're there.
Wow.
Really, really lovely. We've got a lot planned throughout the year, like afternoon teas, winners photo shoots. We're trying to plan more and more activities and sort of joint appearances that the girls can do together, maybe some abroad. We want our European queens to be involved.
Yeah, definitely
as well. I think for us it's very important that if someone is crowned and they're from another country, we want them to be as involved as the girls in the UK. We've got, like I said, there's the Gittings Goddess opportunity. Our queens, we are sponsored quite heavily by Gittings Boutique, which is an amazing dress shop. I got my dress from Yemi for there. Yeah, and I loved it. It's stunning. So we're very, very lucky. They are offering, each queen is going to get a gift hamper with £250 worth of products, stuff in it. We've got Root Minerals makeup, which the girls are all going to get. Obviously earring envies on there as well, and we're constantly looking for more sponsors at the moment, but we're really trying to focus on exclusive sponsors as much as possible, so that it gives the girls something a little bit different. I think there's a lot of pageants where people have the same sponsors, and it then makes it very difficult for the girls to choose which pageant's best for them, because they might be choosing it based on the information, like, the motto, the believe in yourself, be you motto, and the reviews that the pageant gets. But there are some girls who will look at a prize list first, and if every prize list is the same, then it doesn't.
Yeah, there's no difference between any of them, is there?
No. We've got brand new crowns. So we've got the iconic Crown and Glory UK crowns, which is the full crown. And then we've got some larger European crowns, and
oh wow,
I'm very excited for them.
And I'm not even in this one.
You can tell I get excited about everything, can't you, at the moment. But yeah, the girls will get, a lot of our queens get massive opportunities throughout the year. We're trying to get some advertising sponsors involved, so that it gives the girls more opportunities to actually be seen publicly, and not just in the pageant world, but in general. That'd be a great opportunity for them that we're working towards at the moment. As a contestant, we give away a huge amount just for people joining as well. Like I said, Gittings Boutique is a massive sponsor of ours. When girls sign up, they get £100 gift card for Gittings Boutique, which is an amazing opportunity. When you think that you're spending, so some girls are only spending that on entry.
Yeah.
For the younger ones, they've already got their money back in a voucher towards a dress. And even the older ones who are paying slightly more are getting effectively almost half their money back, just in a voucher to spend towards a dress, which I think is lovely. We've got send out Root Minerals makeup to all of our contestants as well, to try, and they get 20% off discount at Earring Envy, and they get products from Beauty Bell as well.
You do spoil your ladies, don't you?
We do. We want to spoil our contestants, because actually I think it's great being a queen, and we want to spoil our queens even more than the contestants, obviously, because they've won, they're representing us for a whole year. But I think actually when you enter a pageant, you want to feel special from the word go.
Yeah.
And like I said, we value the fact our contestants have chosen to enter Crown and Glory. We're not just there to take people's money and hold an event. We really value them as people.
That's really, really good. So I'm presuming it is a contracted pageant then, isn't it?
Yes, it is contracted for a year. We're very lucky. Our current queens have actually chosen to extend their contracts for another year. Some of them are coming back just to compete for the European title. We compete again. which is great. The contracted side of the pageant, we are a contracted pageant. We do expect our queens to do appearances, but we are not the type of pageant that says you've got to do 4 or 5 appearances every month. We do ask that they try and do 1 a month. That can be online or out and about in the community, to promote it. And it's on average. So if someone has, okay, where's your appearance? What have you been doing? It's just we ask for you to aim for 20 over the year, because you're representing the title you've won, and I think it's important to work hard as a queen. Being a queen myself, I think it's important to work hard as a queen.
I agree, because I think if people award you that title, I think it's only right that you work as hard as anybody would have who didn't get the title. So you can't sit back and do nothing when there's other people who would have been like, yes, I'm Crown and Glory Queen, you know. So it's a responsibility, isn't it? It's a job, really, isn't it? If you win that crown, it's a job.
It is. It really is. It's not necessarily a hard job, but you do want to represent the title. It's not really fair on another contestant, like you said, who would have put in the hard work, and they see someone else has won, and they're like, but they've done nothing.
Yeah.
But equally, we're there to support the queens. If they're stuck for ideas, or our little miss, Queen Gabby, oh, she melts my heart sometimes. I love all of our queens, but she melts my heart sometimes. She tells her mum that she wants to run online charity pageants to raise money for charity, like, all the time, and she'll get as much as she can. And she had a tear when she won, and I think I would never forget, I turned around and her dad was in tears, and I was like,
oh no, you see, I can deal with mums just about crying, but dads, that's it, I'm gone with them. I'm terrible.
Yeah, exactly. I turned around, I was like, that's the cutest thing I've ever seen. But yeah, all of our queens are really great, and actually we're very lucky we have some very hard-working queens this year.
Yeah, brilliant. So out of everything on this pageant that you've seen, for you, could you give me your favourite thing about it? Oh, it's hard, I know it is, but can you do it? One favourite thing.
Just the
one, you've got to knuckle it down.
I love seeing the girls smiling on stage, and seeing their confidence grow. We've had some really amazing queens with us. Holly, who does Royal, was a Crown and Glory queen.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
When she started, we've had Rachel Chant, who was a Crown and Glory queen. We've had some amazing queens, and to have them say things like, Crown and Glory was a great place to start. It helped build my confidence. I felt welcomed. I felt confident on stage. We encompass that. We put it into all of our contestants. That is what we want. We want everyone to feel welcome. We want everyone to feel confident on stage. We don't accept nasty comments backstage. Yeah. If we're told by anyone that someone's made a comment about someone, which never happens, but if we were to be told, we would stamp it out straight away, because actually it's not acceptable. Like you said, it takes guts to get up on stage, and for me, Crown and Glory built my confidence. So actually seeing it do that to other girls is why I'm a director. It's why Hannah's a director, and it's why girls come back to us, and even if they move on to other systems, they still talk about Crown and Glory fondly.
They do. And the other thing as well, you touched on it there, my platform is about empowerment. One quick question before I forget, because I know what I'm like. Just ladies, or can gents enter this competition, boys and stuff, or is it just ladies?
It's ladies only. Okay. Mainly because of the changing facilities that are available. when there's restrictions on that. Also, we've looked at having a men section, and it's not that popular, so it'd be really difficult for us to run. And as much as some people are like, yeah, I want a pageant, and if you're the only person in your category, it takes that away from you a bit. So we wouldn't ever want someone to feel like that.
Well, when you were touching on it, I think my platform's empowerment, and I think it's become empowerment because of what pageants have done for me. So my next question for you, as you've just touched on it yourself, is how do pageants empower contestants? What type of things does it do for them to enter a pageant? How does it help them grow?
I'm going to talk from my own experience, and it was initially from Crown and Glory. So when I first met Hannah, I was very, very quiet. I wasn't quiet, but I was shy. I've always been able to talk for England, but only really around people I knew. But I was very shy. I didn't have any self-confidence. I was at the time, I was comfort eating. I'd got comfortable. I was comfort eating. I was a size 18 at the time. And so my body image and my body image had gone kind of down the drain a little bit. And I didn't think that I could do a pageant. And I met Hannah, and she told me about Crown and Glory. And she told me about the charity side of it and raising money for Dean. And I'm very competitive by nature. Very. It's a good side and an ugly side. But she was like, you could do it. She was like, you really could do it. And I wasn't convinced. And I had some embarrassed. We went to a dress shop because she lives fairly local to me. We went to a dress shop, and I'd seen a dress in the window, and I absolutely loved it. It was a red Morley dress, and we literally drove past the shop, and I was like, I want to go in there. And the woman looked down her nose at me when I said I was doing a pageant. Not because I was doing a pageant, because she instantly went and talked about Kirsty Fletcher, who also lived in the area, and she was a Mrs. World UK.
Right.
So she was very, very proud of that. But looking at me, she was like, no. And she was like, I think we've got dresses more for you upstairs.
Oh my goodness.
I don't really want to take the dress off the mannequin unless you're 100% going to try it on and love it and buy it. And I was like,
oh my.
I was like, okay, but that was her judging me on how I looked, and the fact that actually I was quiet and I wasn't confident, and all of that kind of stuff. And I remember when I first competed in Crown and Glory, the comments on the mark sheet during the interview stage was that I was very sweet. And as much as I love being known as sweet, because I am, it was more sort of, she's not confident.
Yeah.
She was nervous. She wasn't confident, but she was very sweet. But when I got on that stage, and this is where it really, really turned around for me, I didn't have anyone in the audience that I knew at the time. And I got on stage, and there was, I could hear clapping and cheering from people who didn't know me. And I got a buzz, and I was smiling, and I felt confident. And I know a lot of people say, I've had people say to me, well, why do you need other people's approval to validate you? And I'm like, I don't, but to hear people clapping and for me to have confidence even getting up on that stage for myself, I was like, that built up my confidence. And then just the clapping and cheering just helped elevate it.
Yeah, it's the achievement that makes you grow. The fact that you're doing it, you've done it, and everyone thinks you're doing it well as well. it's kind of that makes you grow, isn't it? You're not looking for their approval.
Nope.
It's just the fact that you're there doing it and you're actually enjoying it, and you haven't gone to pieces in a big pile on the floor.
Yeah, and I always say, so my job now is I'm a business development manager. I'm out seeing customers every single day, and I would not be in the job or the career that I'm in without pageants, because my job now is to go and speak to strangers every day as confidently as I can, and presentations, and I couldn't have done that without pageants. And I say it in job interviews. If I go for job interviews and they say, wow, you presented really well, I'm like, yeah, I've got pageants to thank for that.
That's true, isn't it? People just don't realize. I mean, you can have all the qualifications under the sun under your belt, but if you can't present yourself to people or communicate or have eye contact with people, you're not getting the job. It's true, isn't it?
I think that's what pageants gives a lot of girls is confidence. It gives a lot of girls friendships and an additional family, because I know girls who don't necessarily have very close biological family, but they've found an adoptive family in pageantry, and I think there's so much it gives them. But for me, it was confidence and my career. That's what it gave me.
Are you going to use the word that everybody uses and say sisterhood? It's a sisterhood, isn't it?
It is a sisterhood. The first time I heard that, it made me laugh. I'm not going to lie.
No.
And someone said to me, "Oh, you're my sister queen," and I went, "I mean, you're what?" But I love it, and I love the positivity in pageantry. That's what I really, really love. I know some people can say sometimes it has its moments where things seem a little bit, like people are clashing a tiny bit. I think a lot of that's due to lockdown, and that everything seems heightened at the moment. But in general, pageantry is such a positive, supportive place to be.
It's the opposite to what people's perspective of it is, isn't it? The complete opposite. I was shocked when I got into it. I thought there was going to be loads of cliques of girls all looking each other up and down and things like that. But it was open arms and, come on, let me do your makeup. Do you want me to do that for you? I can help you with that. I was like, what is going on? It's the opposite to what you'd expect, isn't it?
Yeah, I've made so many friends. I've only been doing it since 2016. And I've probably made closer friends and more friends than I ever did when I was in school.
Yeah.
So I absolutely love it, and I would recommend it to anyone.
So what would you say are the pros and cons of being a director then, now that you've been doing it for a little bit?
The pros are that I get to see people win and have their dream title. I think that's really great. I love helping the girls a lot. I'm always making sure that I'm putting in our contestant group. Does anyone need any help? Does anyone need any ideas for fashion wear, evening wear, that kind of thing? I really, really love helping the girls. I like the organisation side a lot. That's a pro and a con. I think it can be quite hectic. I don't think I realised how much work and effort goes into the pageant. I think a lot of the contestants, I mean, even me when I was a contestant, I didn't realise how much work went into it. I just assumed, oh, you find a venue, buy a couple of crowns, get people to enter. Like, I didn't realise how much more goes into it than that. And actually, we start planning for a pageant before we've even held that year. So next year's Crown and Glory pageant, when it's in August on the 13th and 14th, we'll probably start planning for the 2022 pageant before that. And it's constant. It's every day, every week. In addition to both Hannah and I have our own full-time jobs, and Hannah has a family as well. So I think being able to juggle everything, I think she's superwoman when it comes to that. But yeah, I think that's the only con, is trying to juggle
Well,
things sometimes, but it is so worth it.
it's a rewarding job. It's a rewarding job. So based on all that, what advice would you give competitors then? Leave us alone when we're organising
No, the opposite. Talk to your directors. Maybe you don't need to necessarily tell them every little thing you're doing, but if you need to help, don't be scared to ask them. Don't be scared to talk to the other contestants as well. Everyone's there, everyone's going through the same thing. So if you're asking me a question, for example, because you need some help, it's likely that I've maybe had 2 or 3 other people ask me the same question. So don't be embarrassed about asking us for help. I think that's a key thing. And when it comes to talking to the directors, we're people, we compete. So we know what you're going through.
Excellent. And final question for you. How do we enter Crown and Glory? What do we need to do?
You need to go onto the Crown and Glory website, which is www.crownandgloryeuropeanpageants.co.uk. It's a very long website address, but it's on there. All of our prizes are on there. We're adding to the prize list pretty much monthly at the moment. So it's only going to expand and get better. And what we're able to send out to contestants as well is only going to get bigger and better. So you'll be able to see that all on there, and fill in the application form. We do payment plans, which I think is really important. We do ask for a £50 deposit for your sash, but as soon as you've done that, you're ready to go.
Wow, that's awesome. Oh, well, thank you so much for talking to me, Hannah. It's been really insightful because I knew nothing about Crown and Glory. I've heard so much about it, but not known exactly what's involved in it. It sounds amazing. Sounds absolutely amazing. Okay, so that's fine. I hope you've informed lots of people and it's going to help you make a decision on which pageant is right for you. Look out for some more that are coming up. If you like this video, please press like and share. Okay, thank you very much. Thanks, Hannah.
Bye. Bye.